Is To Be Hero X community the most toxic community of all of anime right now? Man, this episode 11. Damn episode. To Be Hero, y'all. That's my favorite Wizard Kelly.
Wizard Kelly, y'all.
Episode 11 of To Be Hero X. Boys are back in town. Guess who else is back?
Your mama. It's your boy Dan the Man with the plan.
Green eggs and ham.
Never popping.
Listen, today, man, I'm just plain old leaky.
You leaking?
Yeah, man.
There's a doctor for that.
We going back to the boom boom booms.
The exposition?
They give us the character in the previous episode, which I knew that it was gonna be Queen's turn. I didn't expect the other ones because they didn't show them. But I'm like, we seen Queen in Lucky Science episode. So I'm like, they keep showing the person in the episode, the hero in the previous person's arc at some point, and then there's the next arc. So they're just so predictable. I knew Queen was coming based off of her popping up in Lucky Science arc.
But it makes sense because there's so many different characters. So you have to give everybody a little screen time. And the foreshadowing of each character in the previous episode, so you can follow the trend. And you won't just be like, who's this random character that kind of popped up out of nowhere? It's a trend.
I get that portion, but the predictability aspect of things, and like, this is not a complex story, really. The way they are telling this story is what's making this story seem much more complex than what it really is.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I'm gonna get into that later in the H section.
We're gonna call all that out. We're going to the ratings. I know your rating because I read your notes.
You need to mind your peoples, bro.
Hands in the air. I know mine's. Yours is a what?
Why don't you tell them, since you know so much? You know all the answers. Tell them.
You say this is a 7.
Yeah.
I say it's a 6. We're close.
We ain't
Just
quite,
missed the
we
mark.
ain't quite fusion dancing yet.
Nope, just missed the mark. Just missed the mark. Why do you say it's a 7?
If I was to complain about this show the whole time, it could easily ride the coast of being a 7. Like I said, we introduced the Queen. This is now revolving around her somewhat. We get to look into her powers. We get to look into Boa. We actually see one of the 2 female exes ever.
So I say this episode is a 6. Mainly because there was so much information. All this information, I gotta talk to you people. This is therapeutic for me. I gotta get off my chest. These motherfuckers that be on TikTok and YouTube and shit, that be talking about To Be Hero X and know the whole storyline.
I know where you're going with
y'all
this.
motherfuckers be capping. Ain't no way you seen all this shit and said to yourself, this happened 30 years ago, this happened 28 years ago. No, you looked it up. Because this shit is confusing as hell. And I saw you in the comments talking about this show is basic, how can you not understand? You're lying to yourself. You're lying. You on TikTok looking at think pieces. You're not watching it for yourself. Watch it for yourself. But, getting back to the program. It's a 6 because all this information was super useful, but very convoluted. The storyline of Queen made sense because she's one of the top heroes, and how all the old hero organizations broke down as a result or as a progression of the commission. We understand all that, but let's get back to basics. What happened to Nice?
As you said, this is Ishura, bro. He off to the side, man.
Nice is between Nice and Cyan, they're the game changers of this show. What happened to them?
This is you can't stick to one character per se, because then you won't be able to get the personalities of everybody else until he really fights them, or they're all running under the same like hero corporation, but they're under different corporations. So it's like you can't really interact like how all of the OS is interacting within this episode. They can't interact with Tree Man or Mighty Group because we have to break down each character based on how they fit into the world of To Be Hero X, and everything seems to be connected somewhat.
Everything's connected. This whole world Remember I said that everything is connected.
Hmm.
I'm a full circle kind of guy. I'm a Virgo. That being said, let's get straight into the highlight. The biggest highlight, can you guess what it is? It's me. The biggest highlight is me predicting once again what happened. Last episode, what I was saying.
Nigga, I don't know.
Women being the greatest thing since sliced bread.
When you get the second one, special highlight shout out to Lucky Cyan being a woman.
Right. Think I do anything?
And the main character.
Okay. Remember, they said that they were going to start pushing Lucky Cyan as
A more
the woman, not a weak woman, but a strong woman.
yeah, strong woman. Yeah.
They wanted to do the woman empowerment thing.
Which would happen right after that, this episode. We had Queen, we had Boa, and we had Lucky Cyan. All women. The DOS, was it DOS? It was DOS.
yeah.
DOS decided to push women instead of pushing men. That was their agenda, that's their angle. Shout outs to me for calling it out. I know I'm not supposed to do that. Y'all gonna do it eventually. That's all I'm saying.
God.
Y'all gonna do it eventually, that's all I'm saying.
I know that I called you to highlight, you know what I'm saying?
The
last
Oracle.
episode, yeah. But now this man's ego has been inflated and he calls himself the highlight. Like, he can't just receive his flowers from elsewhere. He got to give them himself as well.
Why not?
You at the wedding, you threw your bouquet in the air, and then you caught that hoe. Like, you about to get married again.
Hey man, double down on commitment. Comment O down there, big O's. If you think I'm the Oracle, because I pretty much am at this point. No shade,
All right.
no ego. That's all I'm saying. My second highlight is flowing from my first highlight.
Oh, God.
It's Women Month.
Is it?
No, but it could be somewhere in this world. I don't know if you realize when they was talking about Boa and all the news agencies was talking about her, it was nothing but men speaking about her. You could be like, that don't mean nothing. But that means something. The DOS is trying to empower women.
I mean, yeah, that is the case with the DOS. They have 3 strong women. Actually, one of them is actually X in the first place as well. But he even said, hey, you got to be X because we put you there. We chose you. We know everything you did. And you should be thanking Queen because her speech is what helped boost your popularity as well. I had to do a little bit of research. And doing research, it let me realize that people keep bringing up this mismatched stick and the fireman, whatever his name is, because them having their fallout, whatever their scandal, was the cause of a divide between men and women.
What was the scandal?
Within the hero world. We don't know yet.
Okay.
Based on the show.
Yeah.
But that's why they keep bringing that up. Because that had like an effect on the world of To Be Hero X. And that effect was the divide between genders, between men and women. Which is why they didn't show the women fighting. They showed the women fighting men. Boa fought the smile guy. Queen fought X.
This must be the only show where you can come and get the predictions and be right. Truly.
Nah. That's other stuff too. I can't say that.
Like what?
Off top. Nigga gonna put me on the spot.
Shout out to my boy Shneem.
Oh my God.
You
Please
doing?
stop shouting people out. For my very first highlight,
I have a dream. How you sound?
I'm bringing it to the women. I think I have a favorite character.
Oh, okay.
And that favorite character is Queen. I think this first episode, I'm liking Queen's values. I'm rocking with how she's moving. She's trying to, all this trust factor, none of that. Off the muscle. Trying to really get it, you know what I mean?
Integrity, yeah, I like that.
She really like, upholding. She set the goal. I'm gonna do this school thing and graduate in 2 years. Smoked everything.
She did it.
She's fire. I like her ambition, her passion, and I like how she leading the charge for the women empowerment movement. Which, you know what I'm saying?
Good for you.
Fans of over here at AnimeIntake. Another highlight, I think Queen is a taker. I think she's a taker. I think she actually rocked with me the long way, if I'm being honest.
How'd you get to that point?
She was like, yo, honestly, these superheroes are just people with powers that can't even be regulated properly by this hero association.
She did say that, yeah.
She sees that these powers getting put into the wrong hands, and she wants to put an end to it, end the trust value. She might be the Barack Obama to be hero X, man. Change.
Not my boy, Barack.
Change. Another highlight. I like the fact that we get a glimpse at what the tournament looks like. It was
finally.
quick, but it was a nice little glimpse
It was
into
worth
it.
it.
There were no people in the crowd. You don't understand how annoying it is that they have these televised events and all these events, and there are people in the crowds to where these people can't go full power. You telling me that every hero who steps foot into this arena can go full out without having to worry about no casualties, nothing? That's gonna make for some gritty fight scenes, and I'm looking forward to seeing actual full fights happen within the tournament. And for my last highlight, that boy X clean, man. That boy dapper, man. He ain't really.
He had a hunchback a little bit.
See,
Just a little bit.
You ain't see the X on the tie though?
I seen it, yeah.
He knew what the vibes was. That was before he was X.
Earlier.
Check out my swag, yo. I walk like a ball player. Hunchback and all. Came down. I'm X now.
It's the coin.
I'm X now.
It's the coin.
So they setting up X to really be this real big reveal. And I'm not gonna lie, this episode gave me real. I'm looking forward to seeing who and what X is to this world of Superhero X.
I'm glad you said that because now I could fly into the hot take. Spoiler alert. Spoiler. It might be a spoiler. I don't know.
You been reading?
I read something way back when. I think, and I alluded to it last episode, I think X's powers is, I'm gonna spoil it, is reality changing. He can change reality like Scarlet Witch. With that being said,
I still heard you.
it makes sense how he came out of nowhere and he can do so many different things and nobody knows anything about him.
Right.
Also,
That makes sense.
think about how much the art style has changed from how it began, which is present day, going back to the episode 11 right now, where it's more animation, closer to the time when X wasn't a thing yet.
Okay.
So the change of animation could be changing reality. Come on, I be cooking.
This sounds like a reach, but it doesn't sound like a bad reach at all. This is one of those reach-in files. That's, you know what I'm saying?
You good. I'm LeBron.
Yeah. Okay. That's wow. If that was the case, we got a whole nother U-Haul. I think this might be the hottest of hot takes this whole series so far.
Also, why certain things are happening that shouldn't happen. Because everybody's a plant here, and it's his story that he's making.
That would make sense to why the system is such bull. That boy here X is like, he ain't map out all the kinks, and nobody's like understanding that those are kinks because this is where they're living in. Okay.
That's my hot take. Big hot take. Start with the episode. What you got?
Final hot take. But yeah, the Donghua, I feel like I feel like this show is missing chapters from the Donghua. Like, literally, some of the literal jump cuts don't even make sense. Like, you go from this one point into the next point, and that next point is like 10 years later.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like, what was the point of you showing me this?
Nothing.
It's like, it feels like the story that's playing in front of us feels really incomplete, and that's where it becomes crazy to me that there are people who like read ahead or get information and then come back to argue people down about this show, when it's like, you did your due diligence, sure, and you went, but you didn't gain all that information from watching the show. Because if you're watching the show, you would know that this show comes off incomplete as hell.
It's tough.
And honestly, if you're one of those people, let me know where you're watching the show at, so I can watch the same place and see if we can pick up on the same information. Because, you know what I'm saying, them underground rings around the Rosie online, you know, they're not really providing the same information as you. So be a doll. And
I don't think anybody has that information that you're looking for, and that's the thing. They're looking on Reddit and Twitter for the information. None of this is being shown in the show.
listen, man, I'm just a messenger. To the naked eye, chapters are completely missed. Information is just being missed. Like, take your time to be X, or just don't do it. Simple as that.
That's been another installment of Superhero X episode 11 from your guys, the ignorant ones. We just watch a show and have fun.
Honestly, it's not fun anymore. I feel like I'm getting beat over the head with a brick every week. It's a good show, but
Nobody wants to hear you cry for help. We will be here again next week.
take me. I guess we should piece these motherfuckers out, huh? I know you waiting for it. You didn't forget you.
Got him. We're back with episode. We're back.